How's that one? Hey, what's up guys? John from Mongo Fishing. So today I'm here on the Monster Bass channel and I'm going to talk to you guys about late summer schoolers, right? So they should be out there schooling up really good, pretty easy to catch if we can find them. Should be. That's the key word. I have not been on this lake since February like 12th or something, and it's August now, so I've not pre-scouted this, so let's do it. All right guys, so I just went through the first area. There's a bunch of bird activity, there's a bunch of feathers everywhere, but there was no bait. The fish had already moved. So let's go check another spot. So we are right here at this bridge, right? Bridges are a great place to hold schooling bass because it's a great place to find bait, as you can tell. So we're gonna give this a few minutes and sit here and see if the schoolers come up. All right guys, so the bait is everywhere. I just asked those guys in that pontoon boat back there if they are catching any topwater fish, and they said no, the schoolers are just not here this morning. So it's possible I'm going to show you guys how to find schoolers and not actually be able to find schoolers. I'll show you where they're supposed to be, but hopefully you can find some. So let's look some more. So right here what we have is we have a pocket right there, or sorry, a creek right there. It also comes out right over there, little island right here in the middle, long point right there. This makes a perfect little staging area for fish to stack up and bait to stack up and to school up right here. So bait is here. We'll do the same thing. We're gonna pull up here, give it about 10 minutes of sitting around and looking and see if we can see these fish busting. And then if we can, we'll start throwing on them. I mean, I can throw anyway, but I think today I just want to run and gun, so I don't really want to make too many blind casts if I don't have to. We'll see what happens. Right here, guys. There we go. Little Kentucky. Let's go check another spot. Hey guys, before I leave, I just wanted you to see this. So you got a big wad of bait right there. Probably 2 schools of spotted bass or stripers, suspended midway down through the water column. So anyway, let's move. Here we go, guys. Look at that school. So let's catch one on this walking bait. So I'm trying to work it fast, guys. I don't want them to get a chance to really look at it. I want them to react on it. Got it. He's little. And he just spit up a shad. They're tiny. We're gonna go check back here in the back in this culvert. Although it's not necessarily what we're looking for today with schoolers, you just never know. They could be down there schooling up because of stuff that's washing in from the culvert. So let's go find out. And I don't see any busting. but due to history and, you know, with the weather conditions and stuff, I just feel like I really should be throwing some topwaters back here right now. Oh. Got him. Look at that, guys. So again, because there should be schoolers back here, first cast, I get a keeper Kentucky. All right, guys, so we're back here at the Mongo Mansion, if you will. Off the lake, started raining, and I really didn't feel like putting up with being out there in the rain. Not for filming this video. I don't know, fair weather fisherman, if you will, lately. But anyway, so we're back here at the house, and if you guys have not hit the subscribe button right down there, along with the bell notification button, please make sure you guys subscribe to the Monster Bass channel. This channel is dedicated to make you become a better bass angler, or just a better fisherman as a whole. So if you guys want to learn better techniques and tools and, you know, tricks and whatever, hit the subscribe button along with the bell notification button. My channel, Mongo Fishing, will be linked in the description below. I'd dig it if you came over and checked me out also. But let's get back into this. All right, guys, so I'm back up the lake, like I said. And you guys saw basically what I was doing was running and gunning. I didn't want to spend too much time picking on any particular school. I wanted to see what I could find on different parts of the lake. And so that's what I did. Baits that I threw. So I'll talk about that briefly, and then I'm going to show you some that I didn't show earlier in the video. So walking bait, one with a feather, one without. This one happens to be a Strike King KVD Sexy Dog Jr., that little guy right there. The other bait that I was throwing was a Castaic Cowboy that I'd put a feathered treble hook on the back. So whether to have a feathered treble hook or not, that's totally up to you. I will say that if you're not experienced with walking the dog, feathered treble hooks can make it a little more difficult when you're first learning. So maybe you don't want to start with a feathered treble hook, but if you stop your bait, that feather gives it a chance to pulse a little bit. Sometimes that can draw another strike. But speaking of that, so when it comes to schoolers, I don't typically work my walking baits very slow. I'm working that thing just stupid fast. I want to cover water. I don't want them to really get a chance to look at this, guys, because they're feeding on bait that's like this big, and they like, this will turn them off if they're keyed in on this sometimes. It's just ridiculous. You gotta just make them react on it, not necessarily get a chance to look at it. So I've noticed, me personally, with the way I fish, if I walk the dog slow around a bunch of schoolers like this, I just don't get the same quality or quantity bites. If I work it fast, I seem to do a lot better. Again, that's just me. So because of that, if I'm in a run and gun sort of scenario like this, I'm normally not throwing a popper. I may have one, I may not. It's just a personal preference thing, just how I fish. So one thing that I will do, though, that you guys will see in a second, actually I guess we'll talk about it right now, is for fish that are deeper, the ones that just don't want to come up, or maybe they've been blowing up and they've sunk back down, I will throw a wobble head. It's just, I prefer a wobble head. An open jig head will work fine too, whatever. But because typically where I'm doing this, I'm surrounded by timber or whatever. So I like to throw a wobble head with a Strike King Rage Menace. And I expose it, cast it out there, let this sink all the way to the bottom, and then just rip it up. And what it looks like is a dying shad as it falls, hits the bottom, just kind of laying there. You can crawl it back since it has a little wobble head, or you can just rip it up off the bottom. You know, a couple fast cranks, or just, you know, quick snap with the rod, whatever. Get this thing to shoot up, and those fish will crush it, either on the reaction as it's shooting up or as it falls back down. So, and then sometimes if the bass are suspended, maybe I won't drop it all the way down to the bottom. Maybe, you know, if I see them on the graph or active target or something like that, then maybe I can just count it down to them and rip it up through the school or past them or whatever. So again, I use a wobble head. That's what I prefer. Absolutely not necessary though. I mean, honestly, there's lots of different bait options to choose from, you know, jerk baits and, you know, swim baits and A-rigs or umbrella rigs, whatever you want to call them. I mean, it's just so much stuff. Anything that's imitating bait. The key is you're trying to match the hatch. So whatever you're gonna do it small in this situation. If you want to do, you know, the donkey rig, again, small flukes, typically not the big flukes, because these are fry they're feeding on. That would have been cool to have 2 on the first cast. All right, so for rods and reels, it's totally up to you guys. Almost everything I throw is a 7-foot or around there. There are exceptions. My spinnerbait rod and my jerkbait rod are the 2 that I can think of that are shorter than 7 foot. And so I will throw some of the walking baits on the spinnerbait rod, some other baits on the jerkbait rod, but for the most part I'm throwing a 7-foot or above. That's just me, but I'm also 6'6". I'm bigger than some you know, the average bear. So just use what's comfortable to you. Medium heavy, fast, that typically is what it takes. You want to have a little bit of tip, but it doesn't need to be a complete sponge for most techniques. That wobblehead and rage menace technique, then I will typically do that on the same rod that I use for my jigs, swim jigs, stuff like that. So a 7.2, medium, heavy, fast. All right, so where was I doing it? Humps where creeks were coming in, bridges, points, channel swings, things that just look like they should attract fish. Guys, that's about it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Again, if you're new to the Monster Bass channel, hit the subscribe button right down there along with the bell notification button so you get notified every single time Monster Bass puts out another video. My channel, Mongo Fishing, will be linked down in the description below. I'd dig it if you came over and checked me out also. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them down below. Myself or one of the Monster Bass staff will answer them. And then, like I said, come over and check me out. Drop a comment on one of my videos. Let me know that you came from the Monster Bass channel. Again, guys, thank you very much for watching. As always, get on the water, be safe, and go catch a monster bass.